Okay, so Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is out. It's been out for a couple days. I watched it on Thursday night. It's currently Sunday afternoon. I wanted to wait a little while to try to let everybody see the movie before I said anything about it because I will be spoiling the movie thoroughly in this review, you could call it. It's going to be more of a rant. Anyway, uh, I didn't feel like making two separate videos about this movie. So yeah, we're just gonna go right in. I did not like this movie very much, and you can tell that from the title. Um, I don't usually say that things are mid, but this movie was incredibly mid. Um, and I'm sure that over the course of this video, even with explaining myself, you'll either hate me or agree with me by the end of it. So I don't really care too much. But because I don't like to be solely negative all the time, I will start with the things that I liked. I liked the Sam Raimi isms of the movie. There's definitely DNA in this movie that belongs strictly to Sam Raimi that you'll recognize in the transitions and the way that some shots are composed. It's definitely very Evil Dead, very Dark Man, very original Spider-Man trilogy. Does it feel outdated and campy and like it's stuck in the 90s? Absolutely. But that's fine. It's tolerable, I guess. Is maybe the word that I should say in regards to that. The music, Danny Elfman sure loves Danny Elfman music. He likes to recycle a lot of his own material. That's fine. It still sounds good, especially the when Professor X showed up. I love that too. Although I can't be the only one that was expecting the do Jesus from the original X-Men movies, but it's whatever. Um, the CGI was serviceable most of the time. The performances were as they typically are, especially when it comes to Benedict and Elizabeth and the other Benedict. The newcomer, the kid that played America Chavez, she did a good job too. I won't even attempt to pronounce her first name because I have no idea how to. It starts with an X. But with all that out of the way, let's get into the stuff that I didn't like. Most of it has to do with the script. Um, I didn't like Doctor Strange himself in this movie, and it was mostly because they make Strange kind of seem like a dumbass in this film for most of it. Like the plot is pretty much driven forward by Steven not knowing anything. And like when America's talking about the Book of Ashanti, and Strange thinks it's a myth, but Wong knows it's real because of some book that they give you when you become Sorcerer Supreme. Why would they not have given that to Steven? I get it, it's a funny punchline, but if you give it to Steven, he would have read it. It's not like he would not have read it. He reads everything. He reads in his sleep. Like that's not funny. That's not cute. Um, every new universe they go to is like, well, I guess we got to find the person here who has all the information. Like, Strange never knows what to do in this movie, except for in the final act, and even that, I didn't think that the zombie bit was gonna be was all that good. Anyway, it's upsetting because even in the other movies like Infinity War, where he gets completely ambushed by Thanos' invading forces, he knows what to do. He's calm pretty much that whole movie. He's never scrambling, even before he looks into the future. No Way Home, yes, he made a mistake, but he immediately figures out how to fix that mistake. And the only reason that it doesn't work out that way is because Peter messes up again. But Strange is supposed to be at least one of the smartest people in the room, depends on what room and who else is in there. But it never felt like he had a solution in this movie, which is really annoying. Um, it also sucks that like a multiversal constant is that Strange just doesn't get to be with Christine. It's whatever though. It's kind of Spider-Man-ish in that way. Another thing that I find strange is that in the entire multiverse, there has never been another Wanda Maximoff who became Scarlet Witch. Also, and apparently every other universe, according to Wanda, she has her kids. But that can't be right. because those kids cannot be the children of Wanda and Vision in every single universe because they weren't in this one. Those kids were made up. There's no DNA to get from Vision to make those kids. Like they just kind of gloss over that. They don't talk about that at all. Um, Strange decides he can't fight Wanda because he tried like 2, 3 different techniques and they didn't work. It's like maybe if you actually like attacked her, you know, like actually put her in the mirror dimension. I know he put her in this like mirror ball, but he didn't put her in the mirror dimension for some fucking reason. He never used the mirror dimension this whole movie. Um, that weird bit at the end where like the Darkhold takes him over, I guess, because it took over the other Strange. But it seems like he got over it really quickly, and with the benefit of being off screen. Also, the reshoots were really obvious. I hate when reshoots are obvious, like in Infinity War when Peter's hair kept changing. Also, that Illuminati scene, it felt the same way to me that the Wolverine scene in X-Men Apocalypse felt. Like the characters digress and side quest from the main plot. They just get completely derailed and taken to this place just for a cameo or a series of cameos to happen. John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic did nothing for me. I thought he looked really stupid. The Maria Rambeau Captain Marvel bothered me because she was kind of written to be just like this really sassy black person. I feel like they could have tried a little bit harder with that. Captain Carter, no emotion. Professor X being back was cool, I guess, but I kind of wish it had been James McAvoy instead of Patrick Stewart. I don't know. It's weird that you get like the original Professor X, but then somebody who's never played Mr. Fantastic. Like, what's that supposed to do for me? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. Also, the rules of the multiverse and how the multiverse works, and the penalties for breaking those rules are completely different from film to film. It seems. The trailer makes it seem like everything Strange is going through in this movie is in regards to what he did at the end of, or what he did in Spider-Man No Way Home. But it has nothing to do with that, nothing to do with any of that. He's brought before the Illuminati, not for what he did, but for what the Strange in that universe did. That's cool. The Mordo that we see in the trailer, not our Mordo, the Mordo of that universe. It feels like nothing matters when you put two things right next to each other. And this is what, the fourth MCU project now that directly deals with the multiverse. We had Loki, What If, No Way Home, and now Doctor Strange. At least we're talking about Phase 4. I know Wanda's looking through the multiverse at the end of her show. I don't care. But the multiverse seems to work differently in each of these things. Like in What If, each universe is basically the same as the main one, but with one slight difference. In Loki, the multiverse is treated as branches coming off of a single timeline, so where like one thing changes in the main timeline and spawns a new universe where vastly different things can happen. No Way Home treats it like you are yourself in every other universe, but a completely different age and played by a different person, so you look completely different too. But in this movie, every Wanda is Elizabeth Olsen and every Strange is Benedict Cumberbatch. And it's like, I don't really understand. Strange also doesn't really accomplish much in this movie. He saves the day by giving a pep talk, really. And another thing, this isn't so much to do with the movie, it's to do with Marvel fans. Wanda stans are weird people. And I knew the entire time that even though Wanda's murdering people by the dozens to the hundreds, slaughtering folks that have nothing to do with her problems, that they're still going to stand by her and be like, Yas, queen, girl boss, all that shit. And it really bothered me. That's not a slight against the movie, though. That's more just MCU fans in general, I suppose. Also, I remember when the trailer came out, a lot of people were like, oh, the color correction, the color grading is so much better here than it was in any of the other movies Strange has been in. The colors looked really oversaturated to me, and it was kind of distracting in some places. Like when he's fighting Shumagorath, they call Gargantos, but he's Shumagorath. I'm like, why do the colors seem so off to me? Like it's kind of too vibrant for what's going on. And then you look at Shumagorath, and his colors are muted as shit. He blends in with everything else. It's like, Why isn't he shooting lasers out of his eyes? Maybe I'm nitpicking when it comes to that. I don't know. There's also, for this movie being called In the Multiverse of Madness, we really only spend any significant time in Earth 616, which should not be what 616 because that's the comic main Earth. Earth 838, and whatever Earth Strange fights himself in. I also hated that fight. It was so corny. I couldn't take it seriously. I just thought it was hilarious in all the wrong ways. Um, but yeah, like I get that like thematically it's like every time Strange is tempted to use the Darkhold, it takes a hold of him. But it's like also Wanda can destroy the Darkhold in every universe. She can influence the multiverse on that level. Then why does she need America Chavez's powers? Not, like I don't understand. It's just I don't know. It's weird. The pacing to me it was very strange. Um, I don't like. It's hard to explain every aspect of why I didn't like the movie. I just I don't know. I never felt attached to the plot of the film. Um, I feel like the movie was definitely style over substance in a lot of ways. It's just I don't know. I just did not enjoy it. I know a lot of people did, and that's great. Good for you guys. I would never try to take that away from you. However, I did not overall enjoy the film that much, and that's just how that is. If I were to rate this movie on my average, like my regular scale that I used to do, I'd say it's maybe worth the price of admission, I guess. Um, but if I did like numbers, it's like a 6 out of 10. If I did letter grades, it's like a C plus, maybe, you know, maybe just a C. I don't know. But yeah, that's basically what I thought of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I look forward to seeing what happens with Strange in the future, though. Um, at this rate, it'll be about 2028 by the time we get Doctor Strange 3, so that's cool. Um, anyway, I guess I'll see you guys later.